Hey guys, and welcome to my M7 review. The M7 is a fantastic Tier 5 American medium tank with rapid rate of fire, great mobility, and high gun depression. If this sounds like your sort of tank, keep watching and I'll talk you through its stats and show you how well it plays in random battles. Taking a look at the modules, there are actually 3 Tier 4 guns that the M7 can equip. It has 2 75mm guns and a 6-pounder gun. At first, I thought the last 75mm gun was best, as it comes after unlocking the turret, but this really isn't the case. The 6-pounder is actually a lot better, and it outclasses the 75mm in almost every aspect. To show you how much better the 6-pounder gun is, I've brought both the 75mm gun here, and the 6-pounder gun here, up on Tanks GG. Just take a look at the DPM on the 75mm, 1.8k. I mean, it's alright, but then you add an extra almost 250 when you add the 6-pounder gun. Surprisingly, the penetration is actually less on the 75mm, with only 92, in comparison to 105 on the 6-pounder, even though the damage is only 75 on the 6-pounder. The 6-pounder has a ridiculous rate of fire of 27.2 rounds a minute, and that combined with this damage of 75 and a gun rammer, you can get your DPM up to about 2.3k, which is absolutely ridiculous for a tier 5 tank. The shell velocity is also a lot better on the M7 with the 6-pounder gun at 821 meters a second. This gives your enemy less chance to get away from your shots, as the shell travels to them a lot quicker. The ammo capacity really isn't a problem on the M7, as you can see here, 155 shells. And this, combined with the 75 damage per shell, will give you 11,625 damage to do in one game. And I highly doubt you can do that in a tier 5 tank, so that will not be a problem. Moving on to the weapon handling, the aim time is not as good on the 6-pounder as the 75mm, but 2.01 is still not too bad. Its accuracy still isn't great at 0.41, but you can deal with this. Its dispersion while on the move really isn't that good, as you will see in the replays later on. But you do miss a hell of a lot of shots when you're on the move. The gun elevation is 18, which is fantastic, you won't have any problems with that, and the gun depression is 8, which is also fantastic. This you can use on ridgelines, and you really don't have to expose much of your tank with 8 gun depression. As for the mobility of the tank, it's pretty good. The speed is 60 km an hour forward, and you will reach that on the flat. It's got a good power to weight ratio of 19.93, so you'll be reaching about 40 km an hour when you're going up a slope. The traverse speeds are great on this tank, with 48 degrees for the turret and for the traps. With these, you can really circle your opponents, and especially heavier, slower moving opponents. And they will not be able to shoot you because you'll just keep circling around them and shooting them with your ridiculous rate of fire. As for the armour of the tank, it really is not great. As you can see here, it's only got 38mm on the front with 33 at the side and 31 at the rear. And for the turret, it's got 52mm at the front, 41 at the side and 41 at the rear. You can bounce a couple of tier 3 to 4 opponents with this because the armour is quite curved, but the armour really is not the main strength of this tank. The view range of 380 meters at tier 5 is more than enough, and I do use binoculars on this tank just to bump that up a bit. And actually, this tank does weigh quite a lot at 26 tons, and with this combined with the 60 km an hour speed, you can actually use this tank to ram your opponents to death quite effectively. I just cannot get over the DPM of this vehicle. Here, I've compared the M7 with 4 other tier 5 medium tanks, and just take a look at how much better the DPM is on the M7. The DPM on the M7 is 400 better than the German T25, 700 better than the terrible DPM on the Skoda T24, also 700 more than the T34, and 500 more than the M4 Sherman. With the amazing DPM and rate of fire of this vehicle, you really can pick apart your opponents one by one by one. And it is especially great for picking up kills, as you can hit one target, quickly switch to another, and finish that one off as well. Unfortunately, the armour on the M7 really isn't great, but hey, you can't have everything. As you can see here, on the front plate, the armour really doesn't get much above 50, Even if you angle the armor like that, at a really extreme angle that you've only got 72, armor's 75, so pretty much all tier 5 tanks are going to go through that. However, if you do use your gun depression, you'll see here on the side of a turret, you will ricochet low caliber rounds. But that's pretty much the only area where tanks are going to ricochet off you and you will get bounces. You could possibly absorb some through the side, as if you angle your tank like this and they shoot into your tracks, most of that will be absorbed by the tracks, and you do have about 150mm armor in some places. That's pretty much the only armor you will get. On the side it is very low, ranging from about 33 to 53, and on the back it's also very low at about 30, so everything will pen you there. For some reason the M7 does have this sort of weird box on the back of its turret, and actually if you hit that you're not going to do any damage. So if you hit it from the back you will just go straight through it and you'll go into the back of the turret. If you hit it from the side, then as you can see here, it just goes straight through and deals the tank absolutely no damage. So that is a bonus, I guess, if you've got tanks shooting you in the side. Okay, well I think that's enough stat analysis for one day, so let's get straight into the gameplay, and I'll show you how this plays in random battles. So here we are on mines in the M7 in a brilliant matchup. The M7 really does shine when it's in a tier 5 match, and in my opinion it's actually pretty overpowered. Here I decided to try and rush onto the hill at the start, but the spackers and lower tanks pushed me out of the way, which is not a surprise to be honest, it's just an everyday occurrence. As it had a decent power to weight ratio of about 20, it can reach 40km an hour going up this steady hill, which is, it's alright, but it's a bit annoying when you want to rush into an aggressive position at the start of the game, such as the hill on mines. But the hill here really is such a fantastic location. You can get shots all around the entire map pretty much from the hill, so it really is a good position to take. Skoda tries to shoot us here, but luckily misses, and we get onto the hill. Here I know artillery are aiming for me, so I go to the right, and there we go, artillery miss, and shoot straight into that rock there. I didn't actually have much of a problem with artillery this game, which was surprising, because for me, artillery are a complete nightmare. I always get killed by artillery. I reckon I actually die to artillery more times than to normal tanks. So you try and get a shot on this KV-1, but he's through the building. So you pull to the left, and can we finish him off? No, our team aims before us. Oh, and look, a Panzer IV-H below us. Wow. We really see we can take an opportunity of this guy, and there we go, the DPM completely tearing him apart. The DPM really does tear opponents apart when they're by themselves, and you can single them out and really destroy them. Here we use auto aim to try and get a shot in him without him shooting us. And there we go, he misses, so we pull out and use our DPM to finish him off. He comes back to try and get below us, but still our gun depression prevails, and we manage to kill him. Swap to the M5A1 Stuart and get one shot on him before he dies. And now look at this, our DPM and rate of fire is so good, we don't even care, we can just shoot the way the building that he's hiding behind, and that allows us to get a shot on him. So now I use our fantastic turret traverse, quickly swap to the Matilda, finish him off, and can we get a shot on the Skoda? No, unfortunately not. He does die later on to our team. So now we spot a Matilda Black Prince on the other side, so we quickly rush over to there, try and finish him off. And once again our gun depression is not a problem here, 8 degrees is more than enough, and there we go, one more, and we finish him off. So now I see the opportunity to take out the artillery, and you always should take these opportunities in Royal tanks because artilleries are complete scumbags. An artillery kill is worth so much more than a normal tank. Just the satisfaction of slaughtering them. So we use our quick mobility to get into their base, and the accuracy on the move on this tank really is not very good, as we can see here. Look, I missed my first 2 shots on the Birch gun at only about 50 meters, and we really have to get very close to finish him off. And we do take a shot because of that. But luckily he shot into our tracks, into that area of really thick armour I showed you earlier, so he only did 112 damage. And now we can use our excellent mobility to quickly relocate to the complete other side of the map. So you're going at 60km an hour here. And we do manage to get the kill on this T-34 here. Aiming in. 1, 2, and he dies. And now we see the Crusader. We'll need this kill for our top gun. Put one in. Aim in. Okay, we need one more. Can we do it? No. One more. Yes, and there we go. We secure our top gun. So that was the game, and we'll have a look at the post-game stats. So in this game, you managed to do 1.3k damage. We managed to get ourselves the Ace Tanker, a high caliber for doing the most damage in the game, and a Top Gun for picking up 6 kills. We came top on the team. We only got 945 XP, but at tier 4, at tier 5, sorry, that's pretty good, and that did manage to get us the Ace. As you see here, we made 30,800 credits with our premium account. Here I am again in a tier 5 match, and I'm on Malinovka on the encounter game mode. And I rush up onto the hill and try and jump my opponents, as I feel the gun on this tank allows you to be quite aggressive and actually start picking apart enemy tanks from the get-go, as long as you are in that top tier, tier 5 matchup. So I'll speed this up until we get to the enemy tanks. And here we go, we situate ourselves on this corner, and pretty much the enemy can only see our turrets here. And we try and get a shot on the SU-85, and yes, we do penetrate him. Unfortunately, we didn't manage to penetrate the second shot, as he did face his frontal armour to us. He actually bounced off our armour, as you see there. We got 2 bounces, and see this tank, it can bounce some lower caliber rounds. Not very reliably, but it's quite a nice thing to have of the occasional round bounce off you. So we start picking apart this Type 95, as you can see our ridiculous DPM here. We've got 700 damage, pretty much, within like 20 seconds of combat. It's absolutely ridiculous. We pick off the second Type there, and we edge forward. Oh, we see a T-67. Aiming, and 1, 2, and we can't get a third, he pulls back. So we go after him. We're still on full health here, so I'm still willing to be quite aggressive. Ooh, and 1. And we really make a massive meal of this. This shouldn't be this difficult. But look how many times we missed this shot. 1, 2. Oh god, can we finish him? Yes, we get him there. We could have missed that one as well though, that was quite close. One thing I should mention in this tank is that the premium rounds actually have 170 penetration. So even if you got into a tier 7 match, you'd still be able to pen the front of tanks such as the Tiger and the IS, making this tank quite versatile. And you can get into a lot of positions in it that you wouldn't have thought you'd been able to get into in a tier 5 medium tank. So here we go after the artillery. Spot the gorilla around here somewhere. There we go, we spot him. First shot, misses. Second shot, sets him on fire. And oh my god, that was so close, he just misses this. But here's the accuracy of this tank again. See here, the second shot, yeah, misses, just goes straight into the ground. And our team finish him off. And actually looking back at it, if we got that kill on the SU-26, we actually would have picked up the Radley Walters medal for getting 8 kills in one match. So here we quickly move into their base to try and spot the remaining enemies, as none of them have been spotted yet, which is a bit strange. And here we go, we see a Cruiser 4, and he has absolutely no chance against us. We absolutely tear him apart, he cannot do anything. Tier 3 tanks just get completely overpowered when you're in, completely overwhelmed, sorry, when you're in the M7. They cannot do anything about you. So here we go around the edge of the field. I'm not assuming that there's anything else in the base now. Oh, there is, it's a VK. And he's looking right at us. Luckily he hits our trap, so we quickly repair that and try and get behind this building to our left. Oh, we just got behind it with 56 health left. So we wait until his attention turns to that KV-1S. We pop out and we secure the kill on him. Now there's a KV-1. We're probably not going to pen him with regular rounds with only 100 penetration. We give it a go? No, we don't. So here I move forward and load premium rounds, which have 170 penetration. So these shouldn't have a problem at all going through him. We move in around the field, and we manage to see the side of his turret here, aiming in, and 1, 2, 3, and we managed to get the kill on the KV1. So now we're on 7 kills. We've got our top gun, and we need 1 more kill for a Radley Walters, so my heart was going absolutely insane at this point. I've only had 5 Radleys in my entire time of playing World of Tanks, so they're quite rare for me. So here we see the OI Experimental, probably one of the most overpowered tanks for tier for tier, and we'll definitely need premium to go through him. So go a bit closer to try and get a shot. We see he's moving forward, so we'll be able to soon. We aim at him, and can we pen? Yes, he shows us his side. We get 1 in. That one goes really low, so we bounce, and we see him looking at us, so we pull back as quickly as we can. He's running on 56 health, and he'll definitely finish us off.
Ready to fire. Let's find another target.
Here he disappears, so we sit still, activate our binoculars to try and spot him again. And we don't spot him, but we do spot the type, and he's only on 300 health. So come on, we just need this kill for the Radley Walters. Can we do it? And... come on! No, it bounces! Oh my god, what a disaster. Our team manages to finish him off, and we don't get the Radley. Unfortunately, we do get finished off by the OI Experimental here, and our game gets ended on 7 kills. But still, I'm very happy with this result, and our artillery did actually manage to finish off the SE-100, so I'll speed it up here and show you what happened. The KV-1S came in, died, and then our artillery did manage to finish them off. So there we go. I'll show you the post-game stats for this, and this was the best game I've managed to have in my M7 so far. I managed to get a massive 1.9k damage, which is ridiculous for a tier 5 medium tank, as well as 600 spotting, and this got us the ace tanker, unsurprisingly. We got a high caliber for doing the most damage, top gun, patrol duty, and we got 7 kills, 1 off the Radley Walters. Such a shame, I'm so disappointed that I didn't kill that artillery. We got massive 1.4k base XP, which in a tier 5 is ridiculous. And we managed to make a 20,000 credit profit, which isn't as much as the other game, because we did fire some premium rounds of that KV1. So at this point, you may be asking yourself, should I get my hands on the M7? And the answer is 100% yes. In my opinion, the M7 is a fantastic tank, and it's so much fun when you're in a tier 5 match, and you can be extremely aggressive with it, and control the game. Even if you don't like the look of the M7 after watching this review, I still recommend you buy it, just to unlock the later American autoloaders, such as the T69 and the T57 Heavy, later on down the line, as they are very strong tanks. Thanks for watching, and have fun playing your American medium tanks. Bye!